Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by Hans Wackershauser. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's great to have you here. We can't wait to answer some questions.
Sure. Go ahead.
The first one, what is it like working in the industry today?
Oh, goodness. It's a broad question. I don't know, because I can't really speak to how it was before. I know with the internet and everything like that, it's made it a lot easier to sort of, I guess, build a career out of your home. But then again, that just means that there's more players to the game. So I would say it's both easier and more difficult at the same time. Easier to get started, harder to keep going and actually build a full, long-lasting career.
Gotcha. That competition right there.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What is your favorite show you have worked on?
Well, it's got to be the newest one, Keys Niver. It was amazing to work on. I really love the character Yoshiharu. He, yeah, I guess he didn't really speak to me on a spiritual level or anything like that, but I really liked the nuances to that show. I think it was just a lot of fun, like everybody playing together and having these kind of goofy sort of like young teen characters trying to discover themselves and their emotions and kind of grow together and figure out what those relationships mean. So yeah, I'd have to go with Yoshiharu for sure.
Okay, awesome. All right, following that question, what was it like working on Card Fight Vanguard?
Card Fight, actually, that was the first show that I got a role on. So, so the audition process, I remember I was super nervous going into audition. And I remember one of the programmers at Blue Water was like, "You'd be perfect for this. I hear it in your voice." And so I auditioned for Shingo, and I believe it was the third season of Card Fight Vanguard. And I auditioned for, I think I auditioned for Naoki as well. And I was like, "Oh man, Naoki looks so cool. He's like spiky red hair, looks super intense and awesome." And then Shingo's like this, like, he's got glasses and a bowl cut. And I was like, "Oh man, that's the one you think I sound like? Okay, well, whatever." But no, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Once I got the role, it kind of like just like thrust me into this, you know, the world of voiceover and what that's like to be in the booth for, you might do like a 5, 6, 7 hour day, and at the end your like voice is done, you're exhausted. So that's actually amazing how exhausted you get in the booth just talking.
So I bet.
Yeah.
All right, another show you worked on, what was it like working on World Trigger?
World Trigger, it was kind of strange. It was good, but it was one of those roles where or it was one of those shows where it was kind of on and off in the studio. So I'd do like 2 weeks of it, and then my character would disappear, and then I'd do like another 2 weeks of it, like a month or two later. So it's just the nature of voiceover, I guess, is you move back and forth from shows so often, especially if you're not the main character themselves. And it depends on what the production schedule is like, and depending on when they release the episodes and whatnot, you might be in the studio for like a month solid, and then won't hear anything for half a year, and then come back to it the next for a month, and then you're off again. So it kind of has its ups and downs, but it was a lot of fun to work on. I think it's a cool show, and it's kind of sad that it didn't get the release that I felt it deserved for the dub, because it's kind of it's difficult to find for the majority of the English speaking world, I guess.
I'm still trying to wait for the DVD with the English dub. I know the sub, I can watch it sub, but like I kind of want the dub, so I'm waiting for that whenever those come out.
Yeah. it's just kind of the nature of the industry right now. Is there's streaming services and there's competing streaming services, and then there's all these different production companies looking to get dubs, and they usually come out fairly fast. Like you'll dub it, and sometimes within a couple weeks, with like simulcasts and stuff like that, or simuldubs, things will start to come out a lot faster. And Funimation's kind of sort of pioneering that through Crunchyroll. So with things like that, I think the industry is definitely moving forward because it's so much easier to do now. It's so much easier to dub it and have it be released on a decent schedule because of streaming. So that's kind of interesting, and it'll be kind of cool to see where that goes in the future.
Yeah.
With shows.
So yeah, we'll see what the future entails.
Yeah.
All right. Another show you worked on was like working on Future Card Buddy Fights.
Well, I liked it. I play a few characters on that one. I play the lovable teacher Nitsuke, and he has some episodes where he does some very strange stuff. And I remember being in the booth creating the voice for that character, and it just the process of it was kind of interesting. So basically, like when you get cast as a character, there's a couple ways to get cast. It's either you do an audition and they like your voice, and that's the one they pick you. You go in and you do that voice, and they might tweak it a little bit here and there. And then there's direct cast, where they're like, I want you to do this voice right now, and they show you what the character looks like, and they might play like the original Japanese voice or the original Korean voice, depending on what show you're dubbing for. And then and then away you go. You just invent something, and they're like, hey, they either say good, bad, tweak it, do this little tweak, make it higher, make it more nasally or something like that. And then once that's done, it's done, and it's so fast and furious in the booth that by the time it's over, you're like, I don't even know what I did. I can't honestly remember what voice I did, and then you hear it back, and you're like, okay, that's canon. That's it forever now. That's what people are going to hear from now on. So, for Future Card, there's several characters that I got direct cast as, and I really enjoyed them, actually. Rare Morrow, I think, was my favorite. He was only in a couple episodes. He was in, like, one arc, I think, and he was just a bad guy that ended up changing his ways after getting defeated. And, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, though, to play, like, that brooding bad villain for a couple episodes, and then eventually get your chance to have, like, a big episode where you do, like, a big battle against somebody else and get trounced by the good guy. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, now we come to the big question. One of the biggest curveballs thrown by Aniplex, and you mentioned this one already yourself.
Oh.
What was it like working on Kisniver or Kisnov, depending on how you say it?
That was a show. I remember auditioning for it, and I remember being incredibly nervous because I was auditioning for Yoshiharu. I auditioned for who else did I audition for? I can't remember, but I just remember looking at that voice, and I got the sides for it, I think, like a week in advance, and every single day I was going over different voices in my head, trying to get it just right. And I put so much work into that audition that I was just like, please, I have to get this. Come on. I was so ready to play that character, and I was so happy once I finally got it. And then it's quick. It's quick after that. I think I was only in the booth for 2 weeks, I'd say. 2 weeks to do the whole series. I mean, it's only 12 episodes long, so. But it was very nice. The script writing, they kept it really close to the original Japanese translation. So, like, they didn't drop any of the context or anything like that. I feel like they really worked hard to make sure that it stayed true to its roots. Because I know a lot of the time when stuff is dubbed, they'll cut things because they're like, oh, that won't translate to the English version, or well, this is for a North American audience, so we can't, it's too Japanese. Like, oh, it's too Japanese. We need it for an American audience, or a Canadian audience, or anything like that. And then so they'll change little things about it to kind of cater towards that. And they didn't do that with Kisnaivar. They just kept it as is, and they kept all the voices and the characterizations very similar to how it was originally done. And I think that shows definitely in the dub. We had a lot of fun in the booth, goofing around, making jokes and stuff like that, and just finding who these characters were and just making sure that we did our best work. And working with Carl Owens out of the Ocean Group or whatever, he's a great director to work with, and he really gets the best performance out of everybody. I find I absolutely love working with him. I find we team up really well together.
He's one experienced director, and in Canada, he's one of the best.
Oh yeah, for sure. I find he really knows the material that he's working with. Doesn't matter what show he's working on, he's passionate about it, and he kind of brings that out in you in the booth. You walk in, you're having a bad day, and you're trying to let that go, and you get in the booth, and then all of a sudden Carl's like, "Oh, let's do this." He's super psyched to get going and find the right characterization and do that. And I can't imagine how much work he puts into that, because it's very quick and dirty. Like there's no context. You're not in the booth with anybody else. Like the cast doesn't get together and all record at the same time for a dub. You're just there alone and you record your stuff. So sometimes it can be very deflating to basically find the context of the scene within a split second and get the line right, get the delivery right, and that takes a special kind of director to basically find the context in the scene and have you say the line in a way that makes sense to what somebody else might have said before, and that line might not even be recorded yet. You might have to respond or react to something somebody has said to you, and finding a way to bring that out in an actor is a difficult thing to do for the duration of a show too. Yeah,
such a good show.
Yeah,
love it.
Oh, you had a chance to watch it?
I finished it in like one day.
Yeah, well there you go. It's a good binge watch.
I did.
Yeah.
All right, now I have a funny question I'd like to ask you. If you could be any character you played in real life, who will you be, and you can mix and match?
If I could be a character in real life in a show?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, Goku would be the obvious choice, because I would love to live in a world where the harder you work, the better the result is. It's like, oh, I want to work out, I want to get really strong, but there's no limit to that. It's like you can surpassing limits is definitely something you dream about as a kid. You're like, oh, I wish shooting laser beams and hanging out with your friends, going on these amazing adventures, but also just like hard work pays off, rather than like in real life where sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you work, sometimes you fail. And that's just a fact of life. That's the beauty of these fantasy worlds, is seeing somebody like Goku or Natsu or the Elric brothers just eventually achieve their goals through perseverance and hard work. So I think any character like that's really they have like the undying spirit to continue forward. I really appreciate any character like that. But as far as living in their actual worlds, none of them are great. It's kind of like video game worlds. It's like, oh man, I would love to live in that world, and then you think about it, and you're like, wait, their life is actually pretty terrible. Like they have to deal with all this conflict all the time. So that's all I could think of is maybe Goku. Maybe in a world like where there's magic, that'd be cool too. I think.
All right,
shooting fireballs.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
All right, now here's something for people who may not know about your YouTube channel. What is it like running your own YouTube channel called The Hermit Collective?
Oh man. Okay, so the Hermit Collective is kind of a passion project for me and a few other Calgary-based voice actors. It's me, Lucas Gilbertson, and Caroline Day. And I met them when I started working at the studio, and they've already been working there forever. They've been there since the '90s, like the late '90s. And so I met them. We kind of hit it off, and I know Lucas had been working on his own thing for a while, and he was trying to build it, and he saw some art that I had done that I just post on Instagram, and he said like, hey, I do animations, and I'm trying to build this YouTube channel and this my own like studio thing. Do you want to come on board, and we'll just goof around and see what comes out of it. And so we just started making little animations and voiceover tutorials and gameplay video things like that. Made our own YouTube channel, and now it's actually starting to grow, not just on YouTube, but just like the brand itself is growing a little bit. Like we have a couple projects that we're working behind the scenes, can't talk about, like because non-disclosure agreements and whatnot. But it's starting to pan out, and we're definitely building like this own like little voiceover community up here where we're doing our own work and creating our own stuff, and it's definitely very freeing to produce your own content. Well, you produce your own content all the time as well. But it's nice to have yourself to rely on and actually feel as an artist that you can contribute fully to something. Because I remember like I had a conflict of career a couple of years ago, trying to figure out what path I wanted to go down as an actor. And it's difficult because actors are considered artists. But I was trying to think and define that for myself. What does it mean? What does that even mean? Actor, like an actor is an artist, because a painter, they paint, and you can draw, and you can sing, and you can create music. All these different things. Like even cooking, in its own way, can be considered an art. But an actor, like, what do they contribute? And so I had to think about that, because I was like, well, you're really only just a part of somebody else's creative project. Like there's a writer or a creator that created something, a world or something like that, and it gets turned into this thing where they have to collaborate with other people. They hire a director, and there's producers to pay people and cast people, and then eventually it comes down to the actor, where it's just this person who steps into this world for a very brief moment to basically accomplish a goal. Like, what's the goal of that character? So I was thinking, like, well, if the writer is the painter, or the creator is the painter, and the world is the canvas, then the actor is basically paint. And that didn't feel good to me. I was like, well, I don't want to just be paint. I don't want to just be paint. So the Hermit Collective is kind of a way that we can be the actor and the creator at the same time. It's cool. Like I'm not bashing actors. I'm not saying they don't do anything, because there's great actors who can cover a whole array of characters and a whole array of colors, and then there's other actors that are very specific. They say this actor's blue, the color blue, but they can do the spectrum of blue. Like they can do purples, and they can do greens and all these different emotional type characters, and it's beautiful when you're witnessing it. But at the same time, sometimes you just gotta find a little bit more, I guess. So that's kind of what the Hermit Collective is to me, is just a way to create and show my voice, because the rest of the time I'm doing my best to ensure that somebody else's creation ends up the way that they want it,
Right.
Yeah. So.
By the way, speaking of your channel, any of our followers, check out his YouTube channel. Just type in the Hermit Collective, and it'll be right there on the first search bar.
Yeah, we got animations, we got songs, we got playthroughs of games, we got voice acting tutorials and funny videos about voice acting. Basically, you just get to click on it and see what it's like, basically, to be a crazy voice actor, and what it takes. What it takes sometimes. Yeah.
Right. Is there anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything coming out or anything else you want to plug in at this time?
Unfortunately, no. There are things coming out, but yeah, until they're released, we kind of have to keep tight-lipped about that sort of stuff. It's kind of the curse. The curse.
Understandable.
And then sometimes things won't come out for years or at all, and you're like, no, no, you have to have this secret for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the nature of the game. Somebody somewhere, some billionaire somewhere, has some dubs of people in Canada. They're like, "Oh, I'm so glad I got them to dub this show for my own personal viewing." I assume. I don't know if that's actually the case, but yeah,
Hope not.
yeah.
All right, now we got our last question, and we asked this to all the voice actors. Any Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or any other social media for the fans to contact you?
Oh boy. Oh my goodness. I think most of my stuff is Hans Wachter at whatever or at Hans Wachter. I think that's what it is for my Instagram and my Twitter and whatnot. Those are really the only social media that I post to. Like a Facebook, you can follow my page on Facebook, but I don't really post there that often anymore, just because I'm tied up with social media for the Hermit Collective and all those other things. So it's kind of, when you're trying to plug into too many platforms at the same time, it can be kind of difficult to manage all of that.
No, I've known for firsthand.
Yeah, there you go. You're just trying to connect all these different worlds together, and none of them want to connect. They're like, no, I don't want. Twitter doesn't want to be on Facebook, and Facebook doesn't want to be on Instagram, and all these things are fighting each other. And you're like, okay, guess I got to pick one platform and stick with it. Yeah, but Hans Wachter, it's a HANSWACOT. Wait, hold on, I'll get it. I'm not good at this. I'm really good at plugging myself, guys. Can you tell? HANSWACTOR. There we go. Follow me. Find me. You can watch me do art and all sorts of fun stuff. See me in the studio every now and again.
Right, will do. All right, well, thank you, sir, for joining us for this interview. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
Mm-hmm. And I want to thank our viewers for tuning in another episode of the Ohio Guys. Thank you all. I'm signing off now. I'm Christian.
Nice talking to you.
In his hands. See you next time.
Yeah, you too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.